Hi, hello. I'm on my way back to Pittsburgh. Uh, I had some problems with the boat in Maryland here, or no, not Maryland. It's Wisconsin. Okay, and I'm driving back. I told when I left, I told these. Her name is Izzy. I told her that some things had been stolen from the boat. I didn't mention the little, what's that thing called? It's a router. I don't know. It's one of those. I'll come up with the name. I'll put it in the description area. But I bought that brand new and it was missing. But the thing that was important was the passport. I still have the passport. It's got mold on it. I've got the passport. It has mold on it. And I was thinking about that boat. I don't know how the delamination occurred on the other side of the keel. And when I was designing boats for this thing like 20 years ago, I had planned to cut the keel off the boat and relaminate the bottom. So I was thinking about that, and I said, well, these boats only cost $400 on Boat Angel on eBay, Boat Angel Ministries, and I was talking about the incorporation for nonprofit status, to have a nonprofit boat, and the stock, that I could work out the situation with the stock, and to go further with the posting of these videos, as there is a communication problem with people. You know, it's only a one-way conversation as you're watching all of these videos and you're talking to celebrities and people on boats all around the world, and you're supposed to have this Patreon page where you can have private videos, and they're talking about, oh, I'm a celebrity and I don't want people bothering me. Well, that is a very odd situation there. And so I'm driving back to Pittsburgh, and as I go down this Interstate 94, it's a toll road from Milwaukee all the way to Cleveland, and it's like $44 or so, and all of that is illegal, actually, because your taxation. But to gain the special designation as a special person that doesn't have to pay tolls, your car is incorporated as a non-profit vehicle, and there is no thing in place to ensure that you don't have to pay those tolls as you're a nonprofit, and you shouldn't have to pay these, because these are fees of the state where they can tax people for that, and it's an arbitrary requirement for personal liberty. It's an arbitrary requirement for travel and freedom of travel, and I've stated that a whole bunch of times, and now that I understand what I'm talking about, I don't have to fucking calm down because somebody has their arm around me or touching me as I have to feel that, and they're so very fucking helpful. I don't want to write something that I can put on a video in order to take care of the situation. But what I wanted to politicians should consider incorporating nonprofits or for-profit, and I wanted to say that or have that put out there because someone stole the mint a long time ago, and they've been afraid to say something about that because of the great Cold War that we had and the great threat of the Soviet Union and their image around the world, which is being used against them, as I know that the only thing they really get now is a piece of paper, which is a check, supposedly, with certain kind of printing on it that is honored by the bank because they're too stupid to understand what's going on, or they're just controlled or blanked somehow. And the problem could be solved if they were paid, or, you know, I'm not sure how I had that worked out now that somebody wants to interrupt and scream somewhere that can't be perceived. But payments and contributions would be tax deductible, supposedly, but if you're using all of the stock in the nonprofit corporations, you'd have to have agreements with those corporations regarding discounts and other things that would be a cost as far as the trading of stock for the purposes of value, which would be, you know, copying or duplicating the country's right, according to Congress, which would be catcalls and currency, the mint, printing money when you don't even use it. Okay, well, somebody figure that all shit out, and then I'll go over here and I'm headed back to Jeanette or Maryland to figure out how to get these boats
in half a mile,
together.
keep right at the fork to continue on I-294 south. Follow signs for Indiana, O'Hare.
And so I'll darn it, what did I want to say now? I'm
keep right at the fork to continue on I-294 south.
Okay. I wanted to make sure that I let you know that you should really
continue for 21 miles.
Really suspect Scott Wolf of 712 Pine Adams Road or Jeanette for controlling you and doing all of this touching. And I have to tell you that he's a very sneaky individual. He's very if you get involved with him, he has Matty Gukases that will control you. If you see things or they'll control, and it won't be him, but it really is him, as it's his Matty Gukases controlling you, and all the other type of things that are used there. And he is, of course, a valuable person that has been used for 50 years. Him and his parents and his brother and Mona Jean Schmidt, that is his aunt, and he has a inferiority or superiority complex, and he gets angry and he controls because he's a super something. I don't know what it is, but I wanted to warn you about him and Chris and Diane Plevlich and Rusty and the imitation of my dad, or impersonation of my dad, as he is in a old folks home and can hardly walk. He's an old fella now. He's not what he used to be, and it's important that people understand, who haven't seen him for 30 or 40 years, 20, that he is not, maybe 15, he is not the person that they remember, and it's very important that people understand that, because someone is impersonating him as the Department of States. Any state you choose is the Department of State, and they assign that to whatever committee in Congress in the state of Pennsylvania that the governor or government may be dictating. So I'm trying very hard here to come to my own order without being able to control myself according to the SALT Treaty, which was supposed to be removed, or was supposedly removed, after we all agreed that this government does not serve the purposes of the people which it was established for, but that it serves. What purpose does it serve? Figure it out yourself. And it needs to be either changed, or it needs to stop existing, because it's too much of a problem for everyone. And that was the whole point of what we were doing before Joe Biden became the victim of the Democratic parties and did whatever he did when he had to help out, or when he had the motive that he had, and we wanted to, I made my point. Okay, well, I can make my point all day, but it doesn't make me any richer. It doesn't make me put any food on the table or gas in the tank. It doesn't help. It doesn't help to make the point. And so when I get angry at people, the idiots next door like to think that they understand everything, they know everything, but they don't, and they really have to get their hands off my fucking shoulders, because I am not a fucking goddamn whatever the hell that is. Here's some more speech for you to really admire and use for whatever purpose you have for it. When I really find you, I'm going to really want to do something to you, which is something I shouldn't want to do as a non-profit organization. So I'm going to post this now at 14 minutes and 15 seconds, 16, whatever. And oh yes, I wanted to make sure that I told you that what the hell road is this? I wanted to make sure that you knew to join Patreon and have private videos. It's only $1 or whatever you want to charge. And if you're going to get an attorney to report all of the crimes that are happening to you make sure you charge them $20 for your Patreon membership, because it's all tax deductible, and I'm sure a lawyer who's successful would appreciate having to pay a tax deductible Patreon page, which you would certainly have to use whatever he could get, you know, to already have that receipt as the Patreon page on his credit card, invoice, whatever the hell that thing is. Don't use those fucking words because they can be fucking copied. Yeah, I guess you're the real fucking genius, aren't you? Okay, so don't do anything purposeful. Don't do anything. Yeah, Dad, go ahead and participate at 88, and here's your fucking Department of State, you dumbass.